do you do at GVS? How long have you worked here?
My name is Sean. I am an IT support technician here at GBS, and I have been here for about 3 years now.
My name's Nevaeh Money. I've been here for 3 years and I'm a server.
My name is Abby Midvesic. I work for GBS Cares and I've worked here for about 1.5 years.
My name is Bell Meir and I work in IT. I get to help both residents and staff with tech issues, and I've been here since July of 2023.
Jessica Woolfolk, I'm a housekeeper at the Manor, and I've worked here for 2 years.
My name is Ashley Crandall. I'm a housekeeper at the Arms, and I have worked here for 3.5 years.
Hi, I'm Kelsey Moran, and I'm the Plant Services Coordinator, and I've worked here for about 2 years.
My name is Andrew Comley, and I think my official title is the Lead Skilled Maintenance, but that's a little bit of a misnomer. My job primarily entails taking care of the mechanical and boiler rooms of the Arms and some of the infrastructure systems within the whole facility. This December, it will be 2 years, but I did work here previously during COVID for around a year.
Well, my name is Tammy Hall, and I'm a CNA at the Manor, and I worked here about 5 years now.
What is your favorite part of working here at GVS?
I like the atmosphere, and the residents make it very joyful to come into work each day, and just a community-like feel.
My favorite part is getting to help people every day. I enjoy solving problems and making things easier for everyone.
It sounds kind of cliche, but my favorite part of working at GVS is really interacting with the residents and talking with them, and kind of finding common ground. And they're the fun part of working here, really.
My favorite part of working at GBS is probably getting to communicate with the residents and hang out with them.
My favorite part of working here at GBS is the variety of every day. No 2 days are the same, and it just feels nice.
My favorite part of working here at GBS is the residents and all of their stories and how I can connect with all of them when they tell me them.
The residents.
The residents. I always say the residents, but truly it is me. But every morning before I even go to work, I pray and to do my purpose, and I feel like I'm doing my purpose. And however, maybe one person is just listening to them or telling them about my day or whatever, and just getting in contact with them, as in, doing whatever they want me to do, but really just knowing them more intimate.
How did you feel when you were told the residents had voted for you as the Employee of the Month?
I was excited, yeah. Our apartment doesn't get recognized as much, so it was good finally seeing some of our department be recognized.
I was really surprised, but I felt honored. It means a lot to know that the residents notice and appreciate what I do, and to this day, I'm still very thankful for it.
Shocked. I was not expecting that.
I felt very honored. It felt very good.
I was really surprised. I think it's pretty cool that the residents are the ones that voted for me as the Employee of the Month, as opposed to just coworkers and things like that. I think it means a little bit more knowing that the residents are pleased with what you're doing. So I was really surprised, and I'd say probably a little bit of honored.
I was very surprised when I was told that I was the Employee of the Month, because I was tricked into thinking I was going to talk to the residents about the storm update, and I realized that I was the only person in the room, and I turned around and told Dennis Morrison I hate surprises.
I was surprised and very flattered.
I was honestly surprised, but I was really appreciative of it.
Shock, excited, very delightful.
Did you contact someone to share in your celebration?
I believe I told my mom, and she was like super happy for me.
Yes. I actually had the front of the Village Voice copies made of it so I could give them to my grandparents and my aunt.
Other than a couple of the coworkers that I work with, when I first found out, I contacted my wife and told her. So
I sent a text to my family group chat, and they all loved it. It felt very fantastic sharing in my joy.
The first person that I told that I got Employee of the Month to was my dad. He was actually at work, and I texted him the picture of Jordan and I with my certificate, and he was just very excited for me and knew that I had worked really hard on the storm update and all of the storm stuff. So he was gracious, and so was I.
My boss, she was excited for me.
Okay.
Yes, I did actually. I told my girlfriend and my family. They were super proud and happy for me.
Husband.
Oh, wow. I text quite a few people. I did a group text. Just the ones that's close to me, and I told them, because they know my story, but I told them that, hey, I got Employee of the Month.
Why do you think the residents voted for you as the Employee of the Month?
I think it's because I always try to be kind, patient, and quick to help. I do my best to make sure everyone feels taken care of.
Well, because I keep their rooms clean. So I keep their rooms clean and, great conversations.
I think that the residents voted for me as Employee of the Month because I continue to show up for them, and I always try to advocate and give them my best every single day, and I hope that they appreciate that.
I feel like I'm a common face that they see. I'm always around. They know to ask me if they need help with anything. I'm always there to kind of give them some insight of what's going on around in our department.
I've had several residents stop me in the hallway and tell me what a great job I've been doing and how valued they feel having somebody here working IT for them.
I think I was chosen to be Employee of the Month because I feel like I'm super patient and super caring.
I believe they chose me to be Employee of the Month because of my kindness and my willingness to always help out.
I really don't know. I just come ready at all times.
What advice would you give a fellow employee who would like to be chosen as the Employee of the Month?
I'd probably say, again, to be super patient and make sure that you're doing your best work.
I think always just do your best work and live out the hospitality promises.
really just go the extra mile to do anything that the residents would ask. I mean, they tell us this kind of stuff in orientation and all that, but it really rings true if you just go the extra mile for the residents, going into their apartment, going into their cottage for a maintenance task, spending a little time talking with them on a personal level, but then just following up and asking, I know I came for this purpose, but is there anything else I can do? Just trying to be there for them because that's what we're supposed to be.
Just do what you're supposed to do what you know you need to do, and then strive to be the best you can be.
I would say to be friendly, be patient, and treat every resident like their family. Even small acts of kindness can go a long way.
I'm going to be very candid here. You have to give a hoot. You have to care about what you're doing, and you have to do the best you can. Another piece of advice would be to take all 10 hospitality promises to heart, and doing all of that, it won't go unnoticed.
Just keep doing your job as best as you can.
I would just say if you want to be Employee of the Month, continue to show up to work every day, persevere, and never give up.
Do it from your heart.
how to submit an EI nomination to create candidates for the Employee of the Month.
Hello, hello, hello. What up, world and Greenwood Village South villagers? It's your favorite sous chef, Ed Gonzalez, here to give you guys a quick little how-to video on how to access the EI Promise platform and submit nominations for those individuals who have done extraordinary jobs at their departments. So let's get on with it. First thing we want to do is we want to open up our web browser. I'm going to use Microsoft Edge here. And then we're going to want to look for the Okta LCS platform. Now I have this already saved in my favorites. So it's going to be this website right up here that you will enter onto your web browser, and then you submit your login credentials. Again, I have all my information saved on my device, so the only thing I'm doing is just verifying that it's me trying to log in. And so I'm going to hit submit so that I can get my code here in a second. This will take it, and there it goes. Once I got my code, I submit it, and it will take me to the home page right here where it has all these applications that I can access. And what we're looking for is this one right here, the extraordinary reward. So we're going to click or tap on that, and then it'll take you to another page. Now, once you've already signed in on the Okta or the LCS platform, when you tap any one of those applications, it should automatically just redirect you in there with your login credentials. So this is the home page of the EI rewards nomination webpage. As you can see here, it'll tell you your point balance. It can tell you things you bought and things to shop. It's also got a little board up here, communication board of people who got and received nominations. It also has information of the Employee of the Month. So to submit a EI nomination, you're going to hit these three bars right up here on the left-hand corner. You're going to tap Extraordinary Rewards Nominations, and then you would hit Create Nomination. You're going to hit Select, and then you would enter the name of the individual. So for instance, I have here Keith already saved on there. Keith, shout out to you, coach. You're an all-star. You always have been. So I'm going to use you as an example. You just click on his name, check mark that, and then you'd hit this right arrow to drag his name over to this bar over here. Once you see his name or the individual's name, whoever you want to nominate in this little section, you're going to hit continue. Once you hit continue, you're going to pick one out of the 10 EI promises that individual represented. And then let's just say, for instance, treat everyone with courteous respect. I feel like Keith does that really well. And it'll take you right over to this page right here. Now, this page is basically going to have two parts to it. The first part is, what did the individual do to receive this nomination right here? How did he treat everyone with courteous respect? And you can type on here, things like, Keith never fails to address somebody by their name, even if it's somebody that he doesn't know. Whatever that is, you just want to enter it in here, and then you would use the second box here to kind of give him a personalized message just to him so that he can see. And once you have those two sections filled out, you hit submit nominations with that, which then goes over to the HR department to authorize it. And within a couple of days, when you go back to the home page, your message, if all gets approved, you'll see it right up here. And the individual that got nominated will also get notified, and he or she will be able to see it on that board. And this is a bit of the process to how individuals are then considered to be the Employee of the Month based on how many nominations they received. And that is all I got for you guys. I just wanted to really show you guys how you enter these EI nominations. Hopefully you guys have a little understanding after watching this video, and I hope to see you guys enter more nominations.
A word from our Executive Director, Jordan Morrow.
What are the eligibility requirements for Employee of the Month?
Employee of the Month eligibility requirements at Greenwood Village South are relatively simple. You can be a full-time, part-time, or PRN employee. You've got to be here for at least 90 days. You cannot have any disciplinary action on record, and you can't have won the award. You can be nominated, but you can't have won the award for the last 24 months. So re-eligible after 2 years if deemed the winner. Other than that, eligibility requirements are pretty simple, but then the expectations to win that are relatively high.
How do we share the good news with staff and residents when we select an Employee of the Month?
You know, after we select, or after the Executive Committee of Resident Council finalizes who the winner is that month, it's really an exciting process. And so what happens from then is we notify the department director of the individual selected to provide a write-up of that individual, to share in general what they're like as a person, as a team member, as someone providing these services to residents, to paint the clear picture of who this individual is on a regular, everyday basis. And really what we want to know is, how are they being extraordinary? Showing up and doing your job is great, but it's also expected. We want to know how people go above and beyond, and even more specifically, how they embrace each of the 10 hospitality promises. And we try to articulate active, living out of those hospitality promises in this write-up, and it goes through a couple revisions. And then how it is delivered initially is at the resident council meeting following the selection. So typically selected within the first week of the month, and then announced towards the beginning of the second week of the month for the previous month. And so it's the initial announcement. We try to disguise and hide the reasoning for bringing an employee to a meeting that they wouldn't normally come to. But I think the hitch is up. I don't think anyone really believes they're for a resident council issue that they've been called to talk about. I think everyone knows why they're coming to the resident council meeting, and so but it's still kind of a fun opportunity to pull someone out of their day-to-day and not just recognize them, but recognize them in front of the people that they serve on a daily basis, in which they're able to thrive in that service too. And so that is the first exposure. And then we kind of take it from there and spread the word in a lot of different ways. Formal communications internally with weekly write-up on Uniguest, many platforms that we'll send out so people can not only know who the winner is, but also have the opportunity to read that write-up. Social media is another great opportunity in which we're able to spread that word.
What is the process for choosing Employee of the Month nominees, and how is the final one selected?
The nomination process for Employee of the Month is really cool at Greenwood Village South, because anyone can nominate anyone. Quite literally, we have staff that nominate staff. We have directors and managers that nominate team members, residents and family members, guests, vendors. Anyone can nominate someone that has made an extraordinary impression on them. And so we do this in a couple different ways. We have a couple virtual options or online options, and then there's also 3 different stations across campus, one in each building, that folks can fill out a physical form and submit that. At the end of each month, all of those are collected from across campus. Sometimes we have over 100 separate nominations, and we track all of those onto a singular spreadsheet. Look for some patterns of multiple nominations, Nominations that have been from diverse groups, meaning if an individual receives a nomination from a team member, a supervisor, a resident, and maybe a family member, it's a very diverse perspective that gains a little more traction. So after, I would say, potentially 100 nominations, we see some very apparent patterns in which we're able to simplify that down, maybe closer to 10, 15. Sometimes it's 20 or more, but then those will go before the directors of Greenwood Village South, the department directors, and then we will have some serious conversations about who not only shows up in an extraordinary way in these moments that are captured on the nominations, but who's extraordinary on a regular basis and behind the scenes. Additionally, there are times where there may be a conversation where someone is nominated and the director has an opportunity to say, yes, they're great, but we're having some challenges with this individual and we're working on those. So I want to not send mixed messages and make sure that we get this individual on the right track and then bring them back to the slate potentially in the future. So a lot of healthy conversation goes into that. But at the end of the day, our goal is to deliver 2, 3, 4, sometimes even 5 solid, deserving candidates to the Resident Council Executive Committee of Greenwood Village South. These are independent living residents, Resident Council Executive Committee, and then be able to provide some insight of those individuals. And oftentimes we provide even more insight to the individuals if they're not front-facing employees, just for the simple fact that those making the final decision won't have as much exposure and knowledge about those employees and how they go above and beyond otherwise. And so we try to give a very fair or paint a very fair picture, and then those folks make the final determination, and that's how nominations are created, filtered, and then finally selected.
What impact do you feel the Employee of the Month program has had on staff and residents?
The impact of the Employee of the Month program on staff and residents, there are two pieces. There's a piece that I know for certain is objective, is measurable, and there's a piece that I hope to be true and I think is true. The first piece is you can see it. You can see the ownership when we're having the discussions in the director meeting, some of the lively discussions, and hearing directors fight and justify for their team members, hearing directors of other departments fight for and justify some of these final nominees is a really cool process. And so I see it there. I see the ownership in the Resident Council Executive Committee meetings as they have the opportunity to reflect on many of the individuals that make Greenwood Village South what it is, that they may not have daily interactions with, or even maybe any interactions with. And so seeing them kind of light up when they understand that there's so much more to what goes into making their lives so great. And then, obviously seeing the employees' faces after the write-up is read about them. It's one thing for someone to give you a compliment. I really feel like it's another to deliver a strong, positive message in front of a group of individuals. And so when an employee is hearing what the collective thoughts are on that individual, and it's wildly positive, it is a very humbling experience. And I understand that some people don't like the spotlight and don't like to be put on the spot, but you can't argue with the fact that it feels really good to know that many people collectively think so highly of you. And so seeing that impact, but even just down to the nominations, even when someone is nominated, they receive those nominations. So at the very least, those individuals know the good things that others are saying about them. I know of many instances where people have kept those nomination cards for years, that they've posted them in their office or put them in their locker or on the dash of their car. And so there's so many objective metrics that you can look at for the positive impact. There's so many anecdotal stories that you can refer to for the positive impact. And like I said, I really hope, and I truly believe that the concept of asking people for feedback, asking people for input on how others have positively impacted them or their loved ones, being open for the feedback, having a clear, transparent process for providing positive feedback and recognition, I think that has generally positive impact on the culture of an organization in general. So I know the impact is great, and I hope the impact is even greater than what I can prove to you.